Good morning. Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, families, survivors, my dear colleagues. On behalf of the Staff Union of the United Nations, I have the honor to welcome you all to this very solemn occasion, a wreath-laying ceremony for the 15th anniversary of the Canal Hotel bombing. On 19 August 2003, a suicide bomber drove a truck full of explosives to the United Nations headquarters in the Iraqi capital of Baghdad and blew it up. 22 people were killed, among them Sergio Vieira de Mello, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and the head of the UN mission in Iraq. The attack on the Canal Hotel bombing also wounded more than 150 colleagues, some of whom are with us today. Some colleagues have asked, why do we single out Baghdad? We single out Baghdad because it was the first time that the UN had been deliberately targeted in such a way. The drama that unfolded across TV screens around the world immediately following the attack has come to symbolize the plight of the humanitarian worker, the plight of the UN staff who work to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. For a tribute to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, I have the privilege of introducing our Secretary General, Mr. António Guterres.
Dear colleagues and friends, survivors and families, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you all please to observe a minute of silence in memory of our dear fallen colleagues. We are here to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for the values and the Charter of the United Nations and for the people of Iraq. 15 years ago, this week, 22 of our colleagues died in a horrific terrorist attack on the Canal Hotel in Baghdad. I was personally close to some of those colleagues, including their leader, the incomparable Sergio Vieira de Mello. He has devoted large part of his career to UNHCR, where I also worked years afterwards. But I had the opportunity to be in close contact with him during his time in East Timor, where he played an absolutely essential role in guaranteeing the freedom of the people of East Timor and a smooth transition for their sovereignty. And I know that many of you also lost friends from across the United Nations family. This was a huge personal loss to so many of us, and an even greater blow to the families of those who were killed. This was, as our head of the Staff Council has said, the first mass terror attack on the United Nations. It was traumatizing for the whole organization, and we learned some very difficult lessons. The mechanisms in place to look after survivors and the families of victims were inadequate, and it has taken too many years to improve them. Before and since that day, United Nations staff have been targeted by those who would like to weaken us and make us afraid to do our jobs. From Algiers to Kabul to Mogadishu, Abuja and beyond, terrorists have attempted to silence and to banish us. I am committed to improving security for all United Nations staff, but our work will never be free from risk. The blue flag of the United Nations flies high because of the brave women and men who carry it to the farthest corners of the world. And the legacy of the humanitarian workers, of the peacekeepers, the military and civilian staff who have given their lives is lasting and will be ever present in our hearts. The best tribute we can pay them, it is to continue our work, to go to dangerous places with the aim of making them safer, and to attend with those who are suffering and to bring them the relief they need. Today, we remember our friends and colleagues who did just that, and we commit to continuing their mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. Thank you, colleagues, all those who came here, made a time to come and join with us to remember our colleagues who have fallen, who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to the organization. I have one political statement, and I hope you'll forgive me for all the delegates assembled here today. The safety and security of UN staff should not be negotiated. Again, thank you all for being here. Good morning.